Welcome back. Good to see you. I am still currently working on my dad's GTO's fuel lines. I was not actually going to film this. I was just going to do it, and then I started thinking about it. It's a perfect opportunity to squeeze another video in and maybe show you guys how to do something. I got a shipment in of some fittings the other day. Two of them are spacers to space the fuel log away from the carburetor. I was having interference with it, and I have to fix the fuel log because I think it's a little bit too tight. Take you over there. Here's the fuel log. Right here are the spacers that space it out. These came with it, but it interfered just right there, and I didn't want to grind on a carburetor. I'd rather just get some fittings. But I think this piece right here is a little short because I don't know if you can see that if it translates, but there's a little deflection, and it is, I mean, super tight. I'm thinking I'm just gonna take apart this and take this hose out and cut a new one. Make it just a little bit longer. Sound good? I think it sounds good. So sit tight, sit back, relax, and watch. All right, here we go. Dash 8 seems to be a 7/8 wrench. See, as I take this off, you can see it stretching back. Not supposed to be that tight. And I'm not comfortable with it being that tight. I don't want to pull any threads. So we're going to try to take care of that. I don't know if you can see that. See, if I hold that there, you see how short it comes up? The hose was totally stretched. So we're definitely going to rectify that problem. The only way I know how to rectify it is to make this a little bit longer, unfortunately. All right. I did not build this fuel log. I bought it from Summit. It's their brand. It's for that carburetor. So, baffling. All right, since we got all that taken apart, I'm gonna take the straights. I'm gonna put them back on. Try to get a rough measurement of how much hose we're gonna need. I'm gonna say 7.5. So we'll take these back off. We'll go back to the bench. I'll show you guys how I cut fuel hose. Here is the hose I took out of that fitting. Gonna get a quick measurement on it. See, I said I think we need 7.5. This one says it's exactly 7 inches. So I'd rather it be a little relaxed than super tight. I don't need it pulling on things. So this is my stash of Dash 8 fuel line. This is Frigola brand. Pretty good stuff. Supposed to hold up to all kinds of different fuels. So we will use the good stuff, because I'm sure this stuff from Summit's probably not the greatest. And don't get me wrong, it works, but you probably have to watch what kind of fuels you put in it, or maybe, don't quote me, okay, because I'm not an expert. Do not quote me, please. But in the past, I used to use cheap or knockoff fuel line, and every spring, if I did not drain down the fuel system, I would literally have fuel just coming through the braid. It would, like, I don't know, make the hose porous, cause porosity. I don't know. So I started using the good stuff. I take a square, pull about roughly what I need, put that end up against there. Oh man, you can't see, can you? Hold on, let me get you there. as I was saying, I take a combination square. I set it to what I need, 7.5 inches. Pull what I need, get it roughly there. Take some green painter's tape, wrap it where I need it. All right, so I need it roughly there. Then I get a big chisel. I make sure I sharpen it up on my grinder. We bring it over here to my vise. And I hit right there. Even though I have a steel table, this is still a lot more solid. And then we very violently get a hammer, big ass hammer, get this chisel as up and down as I can get it. Like I said, big ass hammer, and then you violently, with authority, slam this hammer into this chisel. Then you go pick up your piece up off the floor. Double check. 7.5. 7.5. You get a little bit of egging, which I'd rather have, because you get no frays, no little pieces of metal poking your fingers. Sons of bitches. Putting metal in fuel hose. Yeah, I know it needs to be there to hold the pressure. I get it. Anyway. Now we're going to assemble it. And I do know for a fact Summit AN fittings work very well on Fragola fuel line. I have some of that on the Camaro. I have a lot of Fragola fittings, but I also have a lot of Summit fittings. Watch how easy that is. Oh yeah. Like to get that hose all the way up to the stop. Throw a little bit of WD on the threads here. So it'll insert nicely. I usually do start this by hand. So way I can feel things go south if they go south. All right, once I got it started by hand, I put it in a vise and I do the opposite of when I took it off. So put it in a vise, tighten it up with a 7/8 wrench, then jump to the other side. And then the next time you see me, we'll be over at the car fitting it. All right, before I take this over to the car, I'm gonna take this brake clean and I'm gonna clean this line out because I don't know what has been in it manufacturing wise. You saw how I cut it, so we know there is not any cutting debris. All right, I took this backside out to make it a little bit easier to get it in and out. I'm gonna start it here loose. Start it on the front loose. Gonna kick it out just a little bit, get a belly in it. Start this backside. Do everything by hand at first. All right, got that just about up there. Now you see how this belly stays in it? As I tighten up the back side and the front side, the belly's starting to come out of it. That's just by tightening up the back. Pull up the front. It's perfectly straight. Nothing's in a bind. There's no weirdness. I don't feel like anything's pulling. So at this point, I'll tighten it all the way up. All right, now I'm ready to run my line from here to the regulator. All right, to measure from here to here, we're gonna get real technical. Just brought the whole roll of hose over. Gonna kind of get like a rough estimate where I think it needs to be. And right where I have that tape is right where I think it needs to be. So you're going to go back to the bench, going to hammer that out. As I said earlier, take your aggression out of the day, violently assert your will on this hose. Kind of funny. This 45 hose end came with the car. It's jegs. So now I got Summit and jegs on the car, rivals, working together. That's what it's all about. Uniting. We're gonna do this just like we did on the fuel log. All right. I wonder if Summit and jegs make their have the same manufacturer make their fittings. Be kind of interesting to know, right? Because so far, you feel the same. They kind of work the same. I know, they all kind of work the same. They all work the same, but some don't really like to twist on like this, and other manufacturers, you gotta do more pushing. All right, all the way up, all the way up. A little bit of lube. Start it by hand, where you can feel it go south. All right, we're in there. Can you guys hear that wind out there? Man, you got some serious gusts. I work outside for a living, and I was outside with my buddy Jerry, and it was terrible. We're up in the air all day. It's like 40 degrees outside, but with the wind, oh my God. I feel like I got windburned. Cool. I don't know about you guys, but I get super anal about AN fittings. I can't stand it when the nut thing doesn't line up. Let's run this back over to the car. Make sure our distance is correct. Think that'll work. Let's go do it all over again. Bet I'm gonna have some trees come down on the property. If they already have, or at least big limbs. All the way up. WD for the win. All right. All right, another one done.